Hello good people, I'm going to look at this standard deviation problem. I suggest you pause the video and attempt this problem yourself first. So a javelin has been thrown 7 times and we need to calculate the mean and how many of the attempts fall within one standard deviation. Now even though the question is not asking me to calculate the median and the mode, I'm going to do it anyway because that is part of good practice. I'm going to start by listing the values in ascending order. There are 7 values in total, and by inspection alone I can see that this is the median value. What about the mode? Well, 5 occurs twice, 6 occurs twice, and 8 occurs twice. So there is no clear single mode. This is a multimodal dataset. In order to tackle this problem, I'm going to use a table. So I will have a column X for all of my values, I will have a column F for my frequency, and I will have a column X multiplied by F. This column will help me with the calculation of the mean. So what are my values for X? Well, I have 4.0, 5.0, 6.0, and 8.0. How many times do they occur? Well, 4 occurs once, 5 twice, 6 twice, and 8 twice as well. 4.0 times 1 is 4.0, 5.0 times 2 is 10, 6.0 times 2 is 12, 8.0 times 2 is 16. If I have done things correctly, the sum of all the values in the frequency column should be the number of attempts made. I have 1 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2, that is 7. Fantastic. So this 7, this is our value n. The sum of all the values in the x times f column is 42. This 42 represents the sum of all x values. Now I can calculate the mean. The formula for the mean is x bar equals the sum of all x values over n. And now I can substitute. The sum of all x values is 42 and n is 7. So I have 42 divided by 7 and that will give me 6.0. So the mean distance is 6.0 meters. Alright, now I need to calculate the standard deviation. I'm going to use the table again. I'm going to add a new column and that one will have x minus x bar in brackets and all of that squared. So for the first value I have 4.0 minus 6.0, which is negative 2.0, and I'm going to square that value to give me 4.0. For the next value I have 5.0 minus 6.0, which is negative 1.0, and if I square that I will have 1.0, and so on, which means I will have 0 and 4.0. You have to be very careful here. This column, or more precisely, the sum of the values in this column, does not represent the sum of all the x minus x bar squared values. So once again, this column does not represent the sum of x minus x bar squared. Why is that? Well, that's because we haven't taken something into account. And that is the fact that values 5.0, 6.0, and 8.0 each occur twice. So this means I need another column. And this new column will be f multiplied by, in brackets, x minus x bar squared. So now I have f multiplied by 4.0, which is 4.0. Then I have 2 multiplied by 1.0, which is 2.0. I have 2 multiplied by 0, well, that's 0. And I have 2 multiplied by 4.0, that is 8.0. If I add all of these values together, I will have 14. And this is the sum of all x minus x bar squared values. This is what I can use to calculate the variance and then to calculate the standard deviation. Alright, so I need to calculate the variance first. What is the formula for variance? Well, it is variance equals the sum of all x minus x bar values squared over n. And now I can substitute. I can say that all of that equals 14 over 7, and that will give me 2.0. Now I can calculate the standard deviation. The formula for standard deviation is sigma equals the square root of the variance. And again, I can substitute. I can write the square root of the variance, which is 2.0. And if I calculate that, I will get 1.4. This means that the standard deviation is 1.4 meters. How does this help answer the question? Well, firstly, let's scroll down a little bit. Okay, so what does this 1.4 meters mean again? It means that any javelin throw that is within 1.4 meters of the mean, or 6.0 meters, is within one standard deviation. In other words, all throws between 4.6 meters and 7.4 meters fall within one standard deviation. And how many javelin throws is that in this particular case? Well, if we go back to our table in our first column, we are looking at all of these values. In other words, the throws that have traveled 5 meters and 6 meters. I have 2 of each, which means 4 out of 7 javelin throws fall within one standard deviation. Over on the right hand side, I can calculate the percentage. So I have 4 over 7 multiplied by 100. And that gives me 57%. So I can say that javelin throws that fall within one standard deviation account for 57% of all javelin throws. So to recap, what were the steps to solve this problem? Once again, let me scroll down a little bit. Firstly, create a table. Secondly, calculate the mean. Next step is to calculate the variance. This is to be followed by calculating the standard deviation. And finally, I have calculated the percentage. Note that the table is not necessary. However, it does make the subsequent calculations that much easier. That is all for now, and I will see you on the flip side.